It's the donkey of the day.
For the donkey of the day. That's pretty fun.
Charlemagne the devil?
Possibly. The Breakfast Club.
Yes, donkey of the day for Tuesday, July 11th. Has me a little torn. And I need the help of Breakfast Club listeners on this one. I want you all to decide who should get donkey of the day in this situation. The two candidates are a plus-size model named Natalie Hage and an unidentified passenger on a plane who was sitting next to her. Now, Natalie is a big girl. I just told you she's a plus-size model, one of Lane Bryant's best customers, I'm sure. And she was on an American Airlines flight headed to L.A. when she got into a kerfuffle with a fellow passenger. Now, Natalie said she paid $70 extra for a seat with more legroom, but she says the seat made her anxious because it was a middle seat. Let the record show, I don't care what size you are, nobody wants the middle seat. Only time middle seats are cool is when it's you in the aisle, your spouse in the middle, and your child at the window. Then it's comfortable. But when you're in the middle seat between two strangers, that's horrible. Okay, I refuse to believe that there's people out there who choose the middle seat on purpose. So I feel her pain on that. Now, Natalie is a big girl. She's aware of her size. So she also didn't want to sit in the middle seat because she didn't want to be the talk of the flight. Her words, not mine. Well, she ended up being the talk of the flight anyway. Let's go to CBS LA for the report, please.
Well, Natalie Hage is an Instagram superstar and plus-size model. She was on a flight from Dallas to Los Angeles for a photo shoot when the man next to her body shamed her so badly she decided to share her story with the world.
I just wanted to disappear. It was just terrible.
Natalie was sitting in a middle seat when she says the man sitting next to her started huffing and puffing, hogging the armrests and jabbing his elbow into her side. She looked over and saw his texts. A nasty exchange about her weight.
I look over because he's obviously in distress over here. And then I see big as day that he's talking about me.
Natalie was horrified. She held it together until the flight landed when she finally confronted the man about what he had done. She filmed the entire exchange and says the worst part is he didn't even seem sorry for what he had done.
Natalie said soon as she sat down, the man sitting beside her began loudly huffing, sighing, and readjusting himself in his seat, and then began furiously texting someone. Now listen, Uncle Charlotte has told you all numerous times on this radio that this is how people think when they see overweight people on the plane. People are thinking, I hope that person doesn't sit by me. So the same way you, Natalie, had a fear about the middle seat, this man had a fear of you sitting next to him on the plane, simply because he wanted to be comfortable. I don't think he was discriminating against fat people. He just wanted to be comfortable. And when you sat next to him, you caused discomfort. Now, Natalie approached the man when the flight landed. Let's hear how that went.
Before we took off, you were sending really horrible text messages about me to somebody.
I wasn't.
I have photos. Yes, you were. They said something about, well, hope she didn't have any Mexican food. And you said, oh, she ate a Mexican. Well, if my flight doesn't take off the ground, you know why.
You got me, and I was drinking.
Do you normally make fun of fat people? Is that something that you like to do?
In fairness, you probably shouldn't be sitting in Mexico. When they ask you, are you willing and capable to assist people in getting off the airplane in an emergency, do you honestly think that you are?
That's funny because I work out about 5 times a week.
Oh, God. All right. Okay. Now, the reason I am so torn about this donkey today is because the guy sitting next to her was minding his business, and for all intents and purposes, he seems like a nice guy. He didn't say anything rude to Natalie. He even said that he was nice to her in the air because, truth be told, if that was me, first thing I would have said was, why you all in my phone? You invading my privacy, okay? You insecure, so your insecurity caused you to think that I was talking about you. And even though you're right, that doesn't mean you can now take pics of my phone while I'm texting someone, okay? When you go looking for things, you usually find them, all right? The guy was uncomfortable. He texted a friend about being uncomfortable. You started looking at his phone and filming his phone. What if he would have been typing some personal info, like his address, social security number, herpes status? It's a lot of things he could have been typing about that was none of your business. I personally don't feel like she should have been in his phone. If she thought he had an issue, she should have said something to him. I'm not for the invasion of privacy of the phone. Matter of fact, I think dude was being nice. The guy said he was being squished against the window by Natalie. Okay? That's what
it sounds like you have your mind made up on who's getting the donkey here.
No, I don't have my mind made up. That's why I want the listeners to help me decide who gets donkey of the day today. Because on social media, I see overwhelming support for Natalie. But why are we just ignoring the fact she wouldn't have known none of this information if she wasn't all in this man's phone? I personally can see both sides. I understand why Natalie was upset. She's already chunky. So it's hard for her, and she was already insecure. And then she looked in this man's phone, and it confirmed those insecurities. But to me, she shouldn't have been looking in the man's phone to begin with. But I also understand why the passenger was upset, because sitting next to a fat person on a long flight is one of those things that causes fear and discomfort. So I'm just perplexed. I don't know who should get donkey, so let's take it to court. Hit the music.
All right.
All right.
800-585-1051. Who should get this donkey today? Should it be the lady who's a little big?
Natalie Hage, the plus-size model, for looking all in this guy's phone, or is it the passenger for being uncomfortable and texting a friend about the portly passenger that was sitting next to him?
Or is it him for talking about her and having his phone in full view of where she could read it?
Huh?
Well, they're sitting so close to each other, you can definitely view his phone.
Well, listen, I am very aware when I'm sitting next to somebody right on top of, like, right next to them, and my phone is out, and if I want to see something, I definitely will tilt my phone so you can't look at it.
All right,
but that still don't give the person the right to look in your phone.
Well, let me ask you, Angela, who
All
do you
right, I'm
think
going to
should
tell
get
you
donkey
what I
today?
think. I think he gets donkey of the day. And the reason that I'm going to say that is, number one, when you're sitting on a plane and somebody's right next to you, I never have my phone where somebody can read my text messages, especially if I'm talking about you. Number two, he apologized to her. So clearly he knew that he was in the wrong. He even offered to buy her dinner after the whole entire exchange took place. And number three, I read what she said about everything, about treating people with kindness, right? And I looked at the picture. She's not spilling over into his seat. She's actually on her side of the armrest and everything. So I can't say that it was that much of a discomfort to him because her leg's not touching his.
How you going to tell that man if he was comfortable in that?
I'm looking at how, listen, he's in his seat. She's not on his side of the armrest. That's your space. He's in his space. She's in her space. And she said, you don't know something about anybody about the size of their body. All you know is the size of their body. You don't know what they eat or don't eat, if they exercise or don't, how they got that way, if they've been much bigger.
That
and
is
this
true.
Is the smallest they've
But what
been.
that got to do
So
with anything?
don't
That has
talk
nothing to
about
do
people
with him
like
being
that.
uncomfortable.
And don't be in there huffing and puffing, and maybe be a little bit nicer.
See, this is the thing, though. This is the thing. I don't care how much you weigh. If I'm having a personal conversation with somebody, you should respect my personal space. And that's part of the problem. You're not respecting my space. Leave me alone. You don't know what I was talking about. I could have been huffing and puff. I huff and puff. If somebody's sitting next to me, I don't care who they are in the middle aisle, because I don't want to sit next to somebody because it makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me have to close my legs. I got long legs. I don't care if the person's big, if she's thin. I huff and puff all the time. But now you looking
Why are
over
you
my
always huffing and puffing? That's the big
you
one.
looking over my shoulder.
Yeah, and this girl
reading my phone.
This girl would have never gotten her feelings hurt if she wasn't all in this man's phone. The man did not say anything to her.
The man was wrong for making fun of the woman, but she should have minded her business and not been in the man's phone.
I mean, he apologized.
So I'm wrong for making fun of a woman amongst me and my friend were texting?
Well, you shouldn't be making fun of the big woman, but
and it wasn't like he was just making fun of her. He was making fun of her because of the situation he was in.
No, he
It was
said
just
she ate a
nasty.
Mexican, man.
Come
That's
on.
making fun of her.
That's not his situation.
He said
She did not eat a
He was
Mexican.
trying to describe how
Mexican.
big she was. All right? It's a text message. How big was she? She looked like she ate a Mexican. All right? I get it. All right?
now you understand how big she is?
Yes.
Well, I sympathize
My
with
goodness.
people who are always getting shamed because of their body. And like she said, you don't know what she's been through or what she's
Oh,
gone through to
man,
get
I'm
to
so
where she
sick of this
is.
body shaming
I've sat next to
conversation.
big people on planes before, and I say, hey, good morning, good afternoon, how
And
are
you text
Mind my
L'Oreal and said, I'm
business.
sitting next to a fat person.
I
Stop it.
have never
I
in
don't
my
want to hear
life
that, Yee.
done that.
Let's go
I'm
to
a
the
pretty
phone
small
lines.
person, so as long as you're not on my side, I don't care. Just as long as you're not all on my armrest, I'm good.
All right. Vanessa, line 4. Vanessa, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Charlamagne. Good morning, crew. How are y'all today?
Hey,
We
baby.
good.
morning.
We good. Now, you think the donkey should go to the model?
Yes. I
Why?
mean, yeah, he was being a little punk or whatever, you complaining or whatever, whatnot. But why was you all up in that man's stuff? I agree with you. If you'd have stayed out that man's phone, your feelings wouldn't have been hurt to the extremities that they were hurt to.
Okay.
I tend to agree.
Thank you, Mama.
I definitely agree. I hope you guys have a good day.
Well,
You
let this
too
be
now.
a lesson to everybody. Don't have your phone if you're talking about somebody sitting right next to you in plain view.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Kimberly.
Now, Kimberly, you think Charlamagne deserves donkey today?
I have to say that, yeah. And
Oh, why?
well, listen, I don't disagree with him as far as the passenger who was upset about being squished. I can totally sympathize with that. And I don't think that the woman had the right to invade his privacy sitting on the plane and taking pictures of his phone. However, at the same time, the reason why I can see why she would look at the phone. And when something's obvious and someone's huffing and puffing and purposely making it a point to, express
Make
it
you
or-
uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. However, I have to give the donkey of the day to Charlamagne because he's automatically assuming that the woman He said, clearly she's insecure and she's chunky. You don't know this woman. How do you
She
not
said
know
it herself.
of her body?
She
But
said it.
regardless-
She said she was insecure. She said she came on the plane and she didn't like sitting in the middle of the seat because it gives her anxiety. She knows she's big. She said it.
No,
people
she might
treat her
know she's
badly.
But do you know if her anxiety is because she doesn't want to make others uncomfortable?
She
Is the
said she
question.
didn't want to be the talk of the flight. She said that. She
Because
said it.
today's society looks at women
Because people are
as
nasty.
larger as being nasty. Now, I'll be honest with you. I have been on both sides of the fence. I have been a very fit woman my entire life, and I've gained weight over the years after having children. Both ways, I am not insecure, but I'm also socially conscious. I would not want to make someone feel as though they're being, squished or cut off from being on either side of the seat. So I think the donkey of the day goes to you because if you have this kind of
Mentality.
superiority when it comes to body shaming, I think that you deserve the donkey of the day.
And that's true, because what if a woman just had a baby? You don't know her. She gained some weight. She's self-conscious
God,
about
y'all
it. She
make
hasn't
so
lost
many
it yet.
excuses.
There's all kinds of things. And like the woman said, she said, you also don't know if this is the smallest they've been. They've been losing weight, and they're working on themselves.
So she knows she's big. She's fully aware she's big. It has nothing to do with her not having kids or anything like that. So whatever.
Hello, who's this?
Raven.
Hey, Raven. Who do you think should get donkey today?
I think the model should get the donkey of the day.
Why, Raven?
I feel like because she knows she's a big girl. You make your living off of being a big girl. And I feel like she has overcome more obstacles than somebody talking about her and squishing them on the plane. If that's the case, she could have texted her homegirl like, ha, 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 I'm squishing this man on the plane. He's salty. But it wasn't that serious for her to approach him and everything else. I'm pretty sure she's been through worse.
Wow.
Okay. Hello, who's this?
Hey, this Keeper Richard, man. How y'all doing up there today?
What's up, bro? Who you think should get donkey today, man?
Man, I think that dude should get it. Honestly, man, yeah, he was sitting beside her, but he had no business looking all in her personal messages and all that. My personal opinion.
You got the story wrong.
You got
sir.
it wrong, bro.
The fat lady was the big girl was looking in his phone, sir.
Oh, well, vice versa. Yeah, well, she deserves it. Then she had no business all in that man.
Jesus Christ.
He
Hey,
high
put
as
the
hell.
weed down this morning, brother.
He high as hell. Oh, my goodness. All right, so, Charlamagne, who should get donkey of the day?
I thought it was going to be closer than it was, but it's not even close. The plus-size model, Natalie Hage, is getting donkey of the day. It's J. Kells on Twitter put it correctly. She said he had every right to describe his discomfort in a private text conversation. He said nothing inappropriate to her.
But I guess the reason I looked at it like because he was huffing and puffing and making such a scene. She was like, all right, this is so obvious.
We don't know the same way we don't know how uncomfortable he was. We don't know what kind of scene he was making either.
Well, I'm just telling you what she said.
I'm
she
telling
said
you,
he was
but-
huffing and puffing.
But we don't know. We don't know what kind of scene it was. That could have just been her own insecurities.
All right.
Well,
Well,
I mean, it's what she said.
well, Charlamagne, just stop calling big people fat. They don't like it.
Is there another word for it? Fat, obese?
And I'm agree with what she said is that you don't know what people are going through personally in their life.
Right.
Period.
Man,
you can't just
listen,
judge all
say
people
obese.
the same.
Don't say fat.
People
Just-
go through all kinds of things.
Obese sounds worse. Obese.
Just like midgets don't like you saying midget, so don't say midget. You say
You
little
just said
person.
it.
But I'm describing it.
You said midgets don't like you.
So what,
call it little
time
person.
time out. What do fat people like to be called then? Since y'all both are the politically correct police. What do fat people like to be called? Y'all don't even know.
I don't walk
Pure-
around saying he's a fat person. He's a fat person at all.
Purely plump.
I just mind my
What?
business.
Purely plump.
Purely plump? That sounds like a strip club for fat people. Ain't
You know what? You know what?
That's what
Forget
that
it.
sounds like. Purely plump. What? So anyway, please give Natalie Hage the biggest. And I do mean the biggest.
Oh boy.
Hee haw.